Caller, are you there?
Hey Andrew, it's Miles here, also known as Kokopelli.
How you doing today?
Not bad. Yourself?
Doing good. Where are you calling from?
Australia.
Australia. That's doing good. So, how can I help you today?
Just calling in, see if you can pick up anything for a little bit of a reading.
Okay. I've got about 5 minutes left till break, so if you hear music come on, just hold on to the line, and I'll be able to get you on. I'm getting a bunch of calls here in a second here. And it's 3 books, not 1 book. So I have 2 other callers. If you guys just hold on the line while I'm giving Marls a read. If you guys hear music, please hold on to the line, and we'll take your call after the break. So, Marls, what I need you to do is tell me about the first 10 minutes of your day. Combine that into 40 seconds. You do this out loud, and I'm going to tune into your energies as you're talking.
Probably this morning, first thing on my mind was either coffee, my cats, or online gaming. Yeah, pretty slow in the morning. I'm not really a morning person.
Did you dream last night?
I don't really remember my dreams often, to be honest, especially not lately.
Okay. Well, I've tuned into your energies, and the first energy that's coming from your east direction, the first energy that's coming to Marls is called the Kokopelli. Have you ever heard that term before?
Never. What
it is an Aztec imagery as well as Southwest American for a special deity that brought rain and music. It is the musician that would call the rains upon the land so the land would not be dry and baked. It was the person...
Sorry, does that have anything to do with like a crocodile Aztec figure? Because I remember once in sleep paralysis, I saw like an Aztec crocodile man shadow on my wall.
That's something different, actually. What this is a representation of a lifetime you lived in Upper Aztlan, which is in Southwest America, Arizona, New Mexico, and Upper Mexico, the Sierra Madre Mountains. Specifically, you live with an Indian group known as the Huichol Indians, Huichol. And what the Huichol specialized in was using the peyote button. They were the actual first Indians who discovered it and then shared it with the rest of the Indians who had to go through the Trail of Tears. So they were the first ones that discovered the peyote button as the gift from the spirit ancestors when people were going through a great time of darkness. And this great time of darkness is where you attached yourself to the concept of Kokopelli, where you would march from one city to another city with a drum, a rattle, and a flute, calling to the clouds that would race across the sky. You and a band of other shamans would do this over and over and over again, creating a cyclical pattern between all the cities that you functioned in. So you literally became a part of the patterns of nature. Quite literally, the music that you brought the rains to other cities because you would be calling and singing and drumming to the clouds that were moving with you. And this is what's coming into your energies now. It's saying that you are an elemental force of wind, rain, as well as water, as clouds, and that you must once again be like the wind, be like the clouds, be like the rain. It's asking that you understand that the rain brings fertility. It also brings that moment of peace. You ever been just before a thunderstorm starts and that black wind comes and it gets right into you and you can feel yourself being charged up?
When I was little, like, I don't know, 4 or 3, I remember once there was a major lightning storm outside, and I don't know what I was doing outside, but I was essentially communicating, well, I thought I was communicating with the lightning, just having an open conversation like I am with you now, just talking to it up in the sky.
And you were at that point, and it's asking you to do that again, because these are the energies that the sun is bringing you. It's saying reconnect to the wind, reconnect to the thunderstorm. Be like the stroke of lightning when you need to talk to a girl. Be like the stroke of lightning when somebody at work asks you a question. Instantaneous response, and they need not say anything back to you because you brought absolutely everything that they needed. It's saying by connecting to the nature, you will connect and complete to the physical world that you're living in. And I'll find yourself completing other people's statements simply by the fact that the stroke of lightning is functioning through you. That is our music, everyone. Hold on. We'll be back at the top of the hour. So everyone hold on. And welcome back, everybody, to the second hour. Marls, are you there?
Yeah.
So I was telling you about running with the wind and the rain and functioning with this. You a musician this lifetime?
No, not at all.
Well, this is time for you to pick up a music instrument, quite literally. The drum or the rattle, a flute, something that you can play with your own hands and connect to the heartbeat that's functioning with you. And this heartbeat is what determines how fast the wind energies and the rain energies function through you. You can pick up a drum for as little as $30 at regular music stores, a standard djembe drum, a small one, or a dubek, or something to that effect. The reason I say this is the next energies that are coming through your reading, and this is actually the passion and spontaneity for understanding how you function in this world. Because you're functioning in this world as you're going through what's called the rites of passage. And the rites of passage you're going through is where you recognize the spirit talents that are being given to you this lifetime, the spirit talents that you're born with. Actually, where you live right now is a very extreme place of power. There's an earth chakra underneath the very feet that you sit at right now. Did you know that?
I know this place has a very infamous reputation for being like a high crime rate and high, basically everything negative. So I know there is essentially some form of power around this area, but I wouldn't really consider it good.
Well, it's only because the surface culture is unable to understand the energies. In this energies, there is very much good energy. Before the white man came and took over your area and then was forced into servitude in that area, because that's really what happened all throughout Australia, all throughout the Pacific Rim area. It's an understanding that energy exists underneath it, and the rites of passage is your choice to experience that energy separate of the not good that's above it. It'll be your own personal passion, your own spontaneous lightning stroke to connect to that energy so you can finish the rites of passage and recognize the energies that are trying to speak to you. And as you sit right now, there are literally two native spirits that are sitting next to you and have been with you for many years, and they're your protector spirits. Okay?
That makes sense. When I was living in the Northern Territory, I was pretty much one of the only white kids that actually blended in with the Aboriginal locals, like no dramas, no issues, and they pretty much accepted me from the get-go, especially their older ones.
Right. And they brought you into what's called the spirit family. That means they extended their ancestral lineage to protect you. And these two that are here to protect you are also teachers. Teachers about returning to the wind. Teachers about returning to the rain. Teachers about the drum and how the shamans use the drum and the fire to communicate to the spirit world, separate of the matrix you must live in. So it's a time for you to expand yourself, to reconnect to the wind, talk to that next thunderstorm that's coming. Look at the weather channel and understand if there's a storm coming, get out there and experience it. Allow yourself to be re-illuminated with that stroke of every thunderclap and every piece of lightning. Know that it's speaking to you on a soul level. It's speaking to you so you can expand and understand that there's a shamanic spirit within you and shamanic teachers waiting for you to have conversations with them. But it'll be your free-willed choice. Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
Maybe any direction towards career. I really want to study youth work. Just the last 2 years, it's just been out of my control where I wanted to study, just didn't get the numbers and whatnot. And I've had private readings before, and they've either told me my sole plan was to join the military or gardening, and I don't like either two of those options.
Well, that person was a little bit off. Your sole purpose here is really, really different than the vast majority of people that I read on air. And you're actually someone that's meant to be functioning with the element of fire. Quite literally. Working with metals that are liquefied would be perfect for you. Working with anything that has to do with fire. On a personal level, when you function with fire, you complete an elemental side of you. Before you incarnated in this world, you came from a very volcanic world, where the beings that lived on the surface were a part of the liquid hot magma, quite literally. They lived within that structure. And when their world became much older, those spirits needed to leave the magma life and find another world. So you came out of a basic burning magma world, and then were thrown into a two-dimensional body, a third-dimensional body, with 2 arms, 2 legs, and hair, and you had never had that before. And you've been living on this world for about 15,000 years, experiencing what it is to be a Star Watcher, experiencing what it is to have, relationships, experiencing what it is to be human. But you've also lived places off-world. You haven't spent all of your lifetimes here. You come from another world called Jinhamute, and it is a very special world where it's called the ambassadorial world. It's where species from all around the galaxies come together, and they all learn how to be ambassadors to other worlds, quite literally. It is a world that's been created from the ground up, so all species have a co-creative environment in which they can live in their natural vibration, and they can also travel to other sections and live in other vibrations and not have to worry about being caught in the vibration of a high-density world. Understand that?
Yeah, I understand. I had a dream a while ago where I had my facial hair and my hair growing wildly, and it looked like a lion man, and I've had a connection to the Lyrians, and I like big cats on Earth and whatnot.
That's because when you went to this ambassadorial world, there was a lot of Lyrians there. The Lyrians got caught into being the bad guys in the neighborhood, even though they thought they were the good guys. Somebody had tricked them into being really quite unnice people for quite a few thousand years. And when they figured out what was going on with them, because there were enough beings of light in the galaxy to explain to them, you've been duped, they suddenly went into a stage of honoring their mistakes and began asking for forgiveness and doing great deeds of kindness to the worlds that they had attacked. Okay? And many of them came to this ambassadorial world to learn how to be ambassadors to other places. So that closeness you have with the Lyrian species is because you interbred with them as a soul while you were on that planet, so you could make new ambassadorial spirits. When you decided to leave there and return to Earth, it's because you understood innately that Earth needed people again to be ambassadors who can let go of hate, ignorance, and intolerance and come together to break bread for the first time. It is by coming together to break bread we give freedom a chance. This station is Freedom Slips because the freedoms can slip away from your hand really fast. That's a great little catchphrase that Hawks got there. And quite literally, freedom can slip out of our hands right now if people don't step up and say, let's let go of hate, ignorance, and intolerance just long enough for us to break bread and share a meal. And from there, we learn to be ambassadors to all species, all people.
One final question. Roughly when I was 16, 17, this lasted for about 5 years. I was targeted by some very sinister dark forces, and mostly I just want to know what the hell their agenda was, because it was very hell on earth for those years.
Well, it actually relates to the picture you have right now up in your Skype chat. It shows you in a suit and a tie, all black, with a cigarette, and you're shooting a gun. Why were you in that image?
That is a Japanese cosplay costume picture that I took before I went to a Japanese anime convention.
Okay. And what was it about the Japanese anime that got you liking it?
Well, yeah, that character that you see me dressed up as, I can relate to him too much, I guess.
And that's something you created to defend yourself from the attacks.
What do you mean by that?
You created this imagery to defend yourself by attacks when you were really young, actually, because the attack started when you were about 6 years old and didn't really stop until a few months ago, whether you know it or not. You created the defender image, and as well as those other two beings that are your protectors, they got overwhelmed. And one of the reasons they were attacking you is because you are an ambassadorial spirit with the ability to get people to come together to break bread when there's hate and intolerance among them. That's your master psychic talent, is to extend a zone of trust to people, and then people will respect that zone of trust. Otherwise, the defender spirits within you will lay the smackdown to these idiots that are going to break that zone of trust. You have an aggressive side of you that can rapidly come out like a stroke of lightning and smack the crap out of someone if they break that zone of trust. That's your special talent.
I do, but the thing is, I don't like that at all. Like, that's the whole point, is that I rather not hurt or infringe anyone, but these entities just keep coming back to me, and it's like...
Exactly. And that's the trouble you're going to have with this lifetime, is because you have that power within you. And it's instinctive at times. When people break a zone of trust, it acts on a spiritual level. But what you must understand, that it's actually a force of karma. It's not you actually using negative energy on them. Karma is a law of the universe. And when something breaks the zone of trust of a specialized ambassadorial spirit, you can tell karma they have broken the zone of trust, and karma's the one that responds, not you.
I can understand what you're saying. It's like when I feel justifiably wrong and that I am in the right and that these people have just gone too far, if I do snap at them, generally I won't lose. So I'm not like boasting or big-heading myself. It's just...
Right. You're defending your space.
Yeah, like there's this soul connection within me that knows that, no, I can't tolerate this anymore. These people must learn just to leave me alone, and I'll do things I wouldn't rather normally do. Exactly.
And that's the power you have, as well as the responsibility. Because there are times you could use this power not realizing it. You're not using the karmic side of it. You're using your own anger side. And when we're stuck in this three-dimensional world, anger and hatred can creep up on us. Especially when somebody's working at that zone of trust and just chipping away at it over and over and over again. See, not everything needs to be a lightning stroke. It can be a soft wind that all of a sudden, you know, they tend to have clumsy days or bad days and they back off because instinctively they understand if they keep pushing it, the trap's going to snap on their finger as they're going after your cookie jar.
Yeah, this will make sense.
Okay. Well, I've got two more callers on the line. You can call back another time if you want.
Cool. Thanks for that.
All right.